Hello. This is my equivalent of an intentional living essay. Uh, I think I'm just going to post this to YouTube and send you the link instead of sending you this file directly. It'd make it at least easier on my head to not have to wait for the download process. Um, so I'm gonna go through things line by line, and I'm sure at some point I'll just start rambling because I tend to just start going and I forget to stop. So, um, I'm probably going to miss something in all honesty, especially since this is at 9:30 at night and I've been at work all day. So, excuse the lack of fluid thought, if that makes any sense. So first thing is, oh, also, these are my headphones. They're Razer Kraken kitties because I like the glowing ears. Um, anyways, my goals and dreams, it's hard to explain. Specifically, I want to, my short term goal at least, for right now, is to set up after I get out of college. So go through college, double major in mechanical and electrical engineering, master in one or the other, depending on how the market's looking. Um, because I want as many doors open as possible, and I know mechanical is the most general engineering that there is, but I know that the electrical engineering is growing the fastest out of all the engineering fields, and I I love mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. I like electrical engineering more, so I'll probably end up mastering in that. And then I plan on going through and working at a major engineering firm. Uh, First one that comes to mind is TI. That's where my grandfather worked. And if all goes well, I'd like to start out working there or at another engineering firm in Texas. Because I couldn't move out of the state if I tried. My own subconscious wouldn't let me. And then after I have enough experience and connections, I'd like to set up and break off and make my own engineering firm for mechanical and electrical. And the basic idea is I want to go through my life solving as many problems as I can find. And I've tried to do that, and it's hard. And my day to day life for a long time has been fixing the little problems or tackling the big ones, but I always seem to miss one side or the other. And even with my spastic nature and how my head works, I've I have hundreds and hundreds of sketches, blueprints of just random devices that serve little to no purpose except they solve one niche problem and nothing else. And I want to be able to solve actual problems that people care about, that actually cause strife and anger. I want to set things up for what comes down the line to just I want to put the world back together, because in my mind it feels like it's trying to pull itself apart around me, whether that's politically in Washington D.C. or just in general economically in everywhere really. And I just want to be the one who helps pull it back together. And the end goal is to advance or reset, whichever would work best. My eyes are like half closed right now. But as much as possible, and help as many people as I can along the way, with the small problems, the day-to-day, like, life problems that... Sorry, I gotta get the hair out of my head, off of my face, so that they can just live their life freely, do what they want, not be burdened by, oh, I have to go do this or do that, and just... I don't want to change society as a whole so much as I want to make it more logistical, I guess, is the best way to put it. That's my end-all goal, is to just make my and everyone else's around me lives more logistical, now that I'm looking at it objectively. Make life more fluid, not this work, home, school, homework, work, home, school, homework, because that seems so rigid, and it doesn't feel right. I want there to be... I know there's another answer, even if people haven't found it, and it's hard to put into words. I'm not quite sure I have really any unique gifts or talents. I think the only thing I have that's extra special, the only couple of things, is my size and my lack of willing to give up. I'm pretty average intelligent wise. I'm all over the place mentally, going 50 miles an hour in like 70 different directions. Like, in the back of my head right now, math's going on. I have music to help me focus on what I'm talking about. I'm doing this while sitting in my, what passes for a gaming setup, with my work computer, at home, coming home from work, and my head's thinking about 3 other things, only 2 of which are actually important. The third is a dumb video game that I was playing yesterday, and that I need to do X, Y, and Z on it. And then the only thing that I can think of that I've used to help people is my size. I've protected people. I've destroyed people physically. Main thing is I've helped people reach high shelves, high items. that's most of what I do on a daily basis, is I help physical. I'm good with physical. I'm good with computers and technology, and I'm good with logic. I'm good with 1 plus 1 equals 2. I'm not good with emotions or people or dealing with all the ins and outs of a relationship, a conversation, a person's mind. I can't. I can reason. I have. I. I feel like I have a logistical mind, or at least I try to, and I. I don't look at the world in black and white, but I know there's definite shades of gray. There's no, oh, it's just all fine. There is definitely a good and a bad. And the closer to one side you are, the more definite that color becomes with you. And my viewpoint on that is that shaped how I've lived, how I've helped the people around me. Like, the only time I've ever been any good with social interaction is with my sister. And I've lived with her my entire life. And the only reason I'm any good with social interaction is because she understands what I'm trying to convey despite my lack of ability to use the English language. It's hard for me to convey my thoughts in words. It's easy for me to convey it in emotions, movements, actions. The whole saying, actions speak louder than words, and I don't know who said that originally. Off the top of my head, but whoever said that, they are absolutely right. Actions define. Words suggest. Actions define. Words are for persuasion. Actions are for absolutes. And I've kind of lived my life. I've never been good at persuading. I can sell if I need to. I've done it before, I could do it. But I've always been better in absolutes, in actual true information, not, well, I think this would be better for you. No. I've always run with this is how it runs. I don't know how you're going to use it, but this is what it can do. I'm pulling up because what you've given me is, to me, what sounds like this computer would be able to do within your range of price. And that's how I've sold things. That's how I've convinced people of things, is I gather information. I never I improvise. I fly by the seat of my pants, but never without any information. I think the only time I was ever truly in the dark about something is trying to help my sister through all of her problems that she went through, her bullying and everything. I was totally in the dark because she, like me, didn't talk to anyone about it. She didn't let people know. The only way I figured it out is I found her at one point stressed so far out of her mind that she was just stock still, not crying, not mad, not angry, nothing, just frozen in place with that look on her face, like her mind just turned off, like nothing was there. Nothing was there in that moment, just empty void. And it scared me. And so I spent the next several months, couple of years, trying to pull her back to reality, to be herself, to not be forced to conform to whatever other people told her. And it worked. And then it happened again. And I couldn't help her that time. And that was the only time I've ever been truly in the dark and without information. And since then I've never made a decision without information beforehand. Some would call it cautious, some would call it stupid, some would call it indecisiveness, but you can't make a decision without information. Even if it's a simple what you're deciding between. You can't make a decision without information. You can't all of a sudden wake up in the morning and go through your day and decide to go walk the dog if you don't know if you have a dog or not. You can't wake up and go to work if you don't know if you have a job or not. You can't make a decision without information. And that one time I didn't have information, I tried to make a decision, and because I did, her world fell apart around both of us. And she wasn't emotionally strong enough to pick up the pieces afterwards like I was when it happened for me. And it was emotional. It was emotional, and there's not much more than I can say. I like I said earlier, I can't use words as well as some of my family can to explain, to deepen your understanding. I do not have that kind of grasp of the English language. I can't make you feel what I feel with certain tone of how I write. I can't. I've written poetry. I've written good poetry, but it's always been bad poetry until I get up there and I put motion behind it. And that's the only time you can understand what I'm thinking, is when there's motion behind me, when I'm actually talking, when I'm moving, when I'm myself, when I'm not acting like everyone else. That's the only time you can understand me, I feel. And it's distressing, to say the least, because I can't be myself and be in a civilized conversation at the same time. I can't be all over the place like my mind is. I can't connect with people in, for lack of a better term, high society, which is something we all live in. It's high society is, oh, that job interview, that suit and tie formal wear night out on the town where you go have dinner, you go talk and you talk and you talk and you just be. I can't do that. I've tried and I just can't. Not successfully. I'm, for lack of a better word, I'm really spastic. I'm just all over the place. I have the attention of a gnat, but my attention flops between like the same thing and something else 30 different times a second, so it makes it seem like I'm actually paying attention, and I'm not. In most cases, I'm absorbing the information but passively and not actively, and it's it's just how I've lived my life, is passive versus aggressive. The two no in between, just passive or aggressive, and it's been a challenge. And there's only a few things that I remember that have gotten me through it, and it's really mainly one. And it's my dad who said this to me, but I don't know if he's the original person who said the quote or not. And it's, don't give your opposition, the antagonist, the force trying to put you down, don't give them the satisfaction of you giving up. Don't give your bullies the satisfaction of seeing you weak. Live in spite of everything you've gone through. Don't stop, because that's what they want. Keep going, regardless of what tries to stop you, because at the end of the road, you'll look back and you'll see broken walls, moved mountains, and tunnels farther than you could ever have traveled if you listened. Listened to the voice in the back of your head going, "You're never gonna do that. Why don't you just sit down, relax,